Hey guys, it's Lori. How you doing? So I wanted to talk about something kind of important today, and it may come across as common sense, but I guess I wanted to talk about the impact of it. Words are very powerful. We know that. We know that the spoken word. We have to be careful what we say. I'm if you've worked in any kind of spiritual realm, you know that the words, you know, sometimes when we get down and out, we say things, and depending on the emotion and the belief behind it, it can be very, very powerful. The words that we say. Sorry about that. I'm trying to just get it. And I'm got two vacuum cleaners behind me. It's crazy, right? But anyway, I've been under attack, as you know, if you watch me recently. Gosh, probably all my life, right? But then if you want to go in the last, I say 2 or 3 months, and it's been, the reason I say it's an attack and not just the way of the world, because we all, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're a multi-billionaire, if you're, a pauper and with not a dime in your pocket, we're all going to face tragedies. This is a fallen world. We're all going to have our own temptations. So sometimes when life goes in a wrong direction, we can look and say, okay, it's a consequence of my actions. Or sometimes it's beyond your control, but it's a consequence of somebody around you. Or sometimes it's a lesson you need to learn. Sometimes it's evil being presented towards you. There's all different reasons why things happen. But the difference between going through tragedy, even the worst of tragedies, doesn't always mean it's an attack. Um, the difference between an attack and going through, regular life hardships or even tragedies is the nonsense of it, the fact that there is no rhyme or reason to it, the fact that it doesn't make any sense at all, and there's a supernatural tone to it, and like right now there's no reprieve. It's one thing, get that fixed, boom 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 boom, to the point where I really believe a lot of people suicide because of attacks. A lot of people will end up very sick because of attacks. I ended up, see what I do, and I know that it's not the correct thing to do, but I take things on physically. I have been working on this for a while, but this is by nature what I do, and this is why I kind of go through these patterns. At least I'm aware of it, and I'm working on it, but I take things in physically. So I just actually had a really scary week last week, health wise, and it all comes down to stress. That's what it comes down to. And the sad part is for me, these attacks, I mean, they're hitting in all different directions: health, family, many different areas. But the one that is causing the most stress is money. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because all of the other things that are going on, as devastating as they are, with the money, because of the way the world runs, with the money, they could be resolved a lot easier. But if you don't have the money, you're stuck in this chokehold. But at the same time, money is one of the easiest things to manifest. So, I mean, you definitely don't want to put money above relationships. You don't want to put money above health, that sort of thing. But health is a good example. Say that you need to eat in a certain way. Say you've been diagnosed as diabetic or pre-diabetic or whatever. Or that for, even Lyme disease, any autoimmune, anything like that. I mean, we all should eat right? But isn't it ironic that to eat healthy, I mean, if you have your own land and you can grow your own food and that sort of thing, that's great. But if you don't, it costs more to eat healthy than it does to eat garbage. And that's a sad fact, but it is a fact. Anyway, I got a little off topic there. So words are very intense. Okay, so and I was just talking to a client about this the other day, and I know that she is dealing with this, and I know that I deal with this, and I know that there are many of us that deal with this. If you have small children, now is a great time. I mean, you're there. What our job is to with our children is to mold them into, teach them the best that we can. They're not ours, they're not our possessions, but they're a blessing that we are able to have, to mold, to shape, to teach, to guide into the best person that they can be. And a lot of times we make mistakes as parents. I mean, I know I have many mistakes. If I could go back now, with the wisdom just of life back to when I was, 18 years old, life would have been totally different for my kids. But what do you do, right? All you can do is go forward. But words are very important. They can lift you up, they can bring you down. And a lot of times there will be some kind of, even one phrase, like, even one phrase. Somebody was just talking about having a birth chart done as like a young, maybe 17 years old. And in the birth chart, it said, you're never going to have money. So for years and years and years, this is what was in his mind. So no matter what he did, he was programmed, because that one person saying your birth chart says this, he believed it so greatly that he lived his life around that. Now, I grew up in a home, I don't remember a lot of my childhood. So I had, I know that mental illness was rampant. My mother, I know that she was very abusive. And I'm sure she said many things. I mean, there are some things I remember. I remember her talking about being fat and ugly to the girls, to my sister and I. And it didn't matter if we were like, tiny. We were fat and ugly. I know one phrase that I do remember from my former husband is, you'll never make it without me. You'll always be a welfare mom, which is, what did I do? I rebelled against that and made sure I never collected welfare, right? But I think, what happened with me personally is whatever was said in my household started off this cycle. And we were poor when I was young. And then you've got the stigma of, that's who I am. That's what I was raised in. I'm not going to get beyond that. And you can say on the conscious level, I will get beyond that and I will be successful. And many people have gone from ghetto to, gated community, right? I'm not saying it's not possible. What I'm saying is how the mind works. And sometimes you might, on the conscious level, be saying, I will fight against it. Like me and my former husband, when I said, no, I won't be on welfare. That was a conscious thing. But inside, underneath, that little girl that was, under the belief, I don't know if anybody ever told me that or if it was just something I believed, will never have anything, doesn't deserve to have anything. It wasn't so much you're not going to have anything, it was, you don't deserve it, you're not worthy of it, you're not worthy of anything. This is one of my soul wounds. Remember, we talked about soul wounds before. This is one of my soul wounds. And what happens in life when you have a soul wound? Mine is, you're not worthy, you don't deserve it, you're never going to have it. People don't really like you. People never really will like you, that sort of stuff, So you go about your life and you do what you do, and something happens, and those soul wounds creep right back up. And it proves to you, so it reaffirms to you that this is true. And it's all on a subconscious, sometimes spiritual nature, because let me tell you, there are negative spirits out there. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe that, but there are. And the negative spirits, God is there to lift you up. And God will send angels, to lift you up. The negative spirits, the demons, want to bring you down. So if you've already got this thing going on where you're feeling unworthy, or your soul wound says that I don't know, whatever your soul wound says about you, whatever it is, incidents in life are going to happen, and it reaffirms it to you, which creates this whole cycle that starts over again. And um, there you are again. So each time life happens and the soul wound opens up, it becomes that cycle again, and it builds on that soul wound. The soul wound gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. The first thing to do to kind of reverse the curse is pray. You need to believe what God says about you, not what people have said about you or what your own opinion or whatever your soul wound says. You need to believe what God says. And what God says is, I love you enough that I'm offering you this gift of salvation. I love you just the way you are. Come to me and let me mold you like a parent would mold a child. Let me do that for you because I love you. If anybody tells you that you need to change who you are to come to the Lord, they're wrong. You come to the Lord and the Lord changes you. Anyway, that's just a side note. So you got to believe what God says about you. You got to have faith in that. And you got to know, like, knowing the soul wound is half the battle, because you go, oh, here it is. It's a soul wound. I'm not going to let the knife come and dig some little bit deeper. I'm not going to let it happen. So you're building protection against yourself. The other thing is, don't allow a bitter root to take hold, because if you do, you are allowing, by allowing that bitter root to take hold, you're allowing the negative forces to come in and have their way with you. So forgiveness, whether it be that person that told you years ago that you weren't worth it, or whether it be the person that's not treating you very well today. Forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling. A lot of people say, I can't forgive. It's not a feeling. Forgiveness is a command. It's an action. You put it out there that I forgive, and then, allow God to help you, because there's a lot of things that happen in this world that without God you can't forgive. If somebody hurts your child or your grandchild, you can't just forgive without the grace of God. There's no way. We as human beings can't do it. Our instinct is to, retribution, and rightfully so in some cases, but what we have to do is forgive for our own benefit, not for the benefit of the other person. But these soul wounds come up and they kick your butt. So if you're going through something like that right now and you need help, with dealing with a soul wound, definitely contact me and I will help you with that. I'll give you some exercises to go through it. But faith, belief, say some affirmations, like find something that resonates with you. Short, truth, it has to be truth, and it resonates with you, something easy to remember. And then you can say, when you start getting those negative thoughts, you say it over and over and over again, and it's truth. And every time we speak, we stop, we interrupt a thought. So train yourself to do that. So belief, forgiveness, and then gratitude. Be grateful don't be grateful for the negative, but be grateful in the negative. Find something to be grateful for. These soul wounds in this energy shift are rising up. They're coming to the surface with people. Sometimes we don't know that's what it is. We don't know, why am I feeling this way? Why can't I get through this? Why do I keep picking the wrong person? Why does the situation keep happening over and over again? This is soul wounds, okay? We need each other. Don't think no man is an island. No man is an island. That's pride right there. And sometimes you can feel like, hey, everybody's hurt me. I don't need anybody. Or nobody cares about me. Believe me, I know all these feelings. These are my soul wounds I'm talking about. Anyway, I hope I helped somebody today. If you need help, message me, comments, or you can get a hold of me through YouTube. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.